It's a blackout here in Boise as we welcome you to FS1 College Football After Dark. The New Mexico Lobos in town to take on the hometown Boise State Broncos. So much riding on the shoulders of this Boise State offense that's heavily depleted today. New Mexico won the toss and deferred, so we're going to see a very thin group on offense tonight. Charles Arbuckle, Guy Haberman. Charles, who knows, both these teams are so thin today.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they talked about it all week, trying to make sure they had everybody that could play to get on the trip if they're New Mexico, and Boise just trying to make sure they had enough guys on offense.
Caden Dudley is back deep, a short kick, and he'll bring it out. Two teams coming off tough losses, and Dudley with a good return, and that ignites this crowd as we begin the final home game at night here at Boise State. Well, it's been a back and forth revolving door at quarterback for Boise State. Talon Green and Maddox Madsen has shared the duties. This is the first time that the offense has really belonged to the freshman Maddox Madsen, who's making his first start tonight.
Yeah, they want to give him the opportunity to make plays. He was a spark plug whenever he got in, so they want to see if he can do it throughout the course of the game.
And he's going to give it to George Halani. And he's going to be the bell cow today. Earlier this week, star receiver Eric McAllister, one of the most targeted receivers in the nation, on Sunday walked into the coach's office, said, I'm headed to the transfer portal. So he's gone. Ashton Genty, one of the best running backs in the nation, gone. And so it all falls to George Halani.
Halani has to have a lot of carries today, but they're going to limit to make sure he's completely healthy.
Billy Bowens was the receiver in motion there. And here's Halani. In his third game back from injuries, had back-to-back about 20 carry games, but a flag is on the field, and we'll check on the penalty.
We'll also see that second and third level. When Halani gets going, he's going to really run downhill. You've got to stop him early.
Michael Catone is highly rated Mountain West crew tonight.
Offsides, 94 defense. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play is a first down.
One of the most penalized teams in the nation, New Mexico. One of the fewest penalized teams in the nation, Boise State.
You have to make sure that you're playing good, solid football against a Boise State team that doesn't usually beat themselves at home.
Broncos coming off a single-score loss in a rivalry game. Certainly felt like a championship atmosphere last week against Fresno State. Jambres Dubar has come into the game. He's the back, and he's going to take it from Madsen. Big hole. And he gets down inside the 45.
That left side of the line of scrimmage did so well to allow him to have a nice little running lane. There was no one to touch him. He gets the ball there. They come off, really do a nice job, and Dubar just hits the hole effectively downhill.
George Halani and Caden Dudley, now two backs in the game. Dubar will be a big part of lightening the load on Halani tonight. Madsen under pressure, throws for the first time of the game, and drops it into Austin Bolt, and the Broncos strike.
They talked all week about somebody needing to step up. Austin Bolt was that guy tonight. Said he was the most explosive player, and you can see right there, nice job by Austin Bolt.
42 yards. Well, somebody's got to get the ball. Eric McAllister had 19 targets last week before he left. Now here's the fake for two, and they got it. Luke Voorhees and Boise State, if there's any hangover from a tough loss and losing a star player, they're not showing it.
Well, they talked about Austin Bolt being one of the key guys, able to go and make plays. Look at this. Gets down the field, goes in for 6. Boise State up 8-0.
So Boise State with a first possession score, and it happened fast. And now New Mexico will get the ball for the first time. Jonah Dalmas to kick it away. And a touchback. So changes, of course, we mentioned for Boise State with Ginty still out hurt tonight and McAllister gone. They responded. How does New Mexico respond? Dylan Hopkins, their starting quarterback, did not make the trip. He was sick all week, didn't practice. And so just as on the other side, a freshman quarterback made his first career start, here comes Devin Dampier, a true freshman making his first career start.
Well, you get an opportunity to see young players make plays. And when they've been in games in the past, they've done a really nice job. We saw that earlier. Let's see what Dampier can do here with this New Mexico offense.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt coming off a career high in carries last week against UNLV. And he gets the first carry here and a pickup of 5 yards.
Really want to stay ahead of the chains against this Boise State defense. Both ball clubs have tried to be better offensively on third down, but you've got to win first and second down if you're going to have a chance.
See those 21 rushes last week. That was a career high for Krosky-Merritt, who has scored 12 touchdowns this year. That's in the top 15 in the nation rushing the ball. Dampier loses the ball, and he and the back Krosky-Merritt fall on it.
That's the one point about the mesh point guy, that when you have a quarterback that's played quite a bit, but right here he wants to hand it off first, never gets it clean. And fortunately for them, Krosky-Merritt was able to pick that ball up. But then you almost lose a yard and you don't get anything going, so now it's a little bit longer than you need against this Boise State defense.
Tough environment for your first career start, huh?
Yeah, they want to have a false start tracker. You can see it. They want to have a lot of noise in this end of the end zone.
Dampier flushed, and he just gets it over the head of Erickson, incomplete. That fell apart quickly. DJ Schramm with the pressure.
That play never got off. I mean, he was just right away looking for somewhere to get out of the backfield. The defense applied pressure, and you can see Herbert Gums coming 98 really hard, but there was nowhere for him to go.
There's Danny Gonzalez, head coach, had to make a tough decision this week. Fire the special teams coach, Jamie Christian, after 4 seasons. The staff is sharing special teams duties because this team really has been struggling to cover on punt. Cole Wright. And that'll check up. Touched by the Lobos at about the 37-yard line. And so a reprieve there, at least for them, with no return. Broncos offense back on the field. Of course, Andy Avalos in his 3rd season, the great Bronco player, now head coach. You can see him there over with the defense. We talked to him about Eric McAllister, who left the program, hopped into the transfer portal on Sunday. He said he feels like his team has really handled it well, but look at the production.
Well, when you lose this amount of productivity, you have to find it somewhere else. He can't go in officially, like you said, until December, but leaving the program before the season ends is a tough blow for anyone.
Maddox Madsen to throw here, complete to Caden Dudley. And he gets tied up after a short gain. Jamarius Lewis with the stop.
But you know, Guy, that's the one thing you always say, who's going to be the next guy to step up or make plays. Austin Bolt right away. That's one person we talked about. There's 4 or 5 other players in the receiver position that the distribution probably is going to have to go to. They need to do it tonight.
Well, there are truly only 5 other players at the receiver position available for Boise State tonight. Dubar, strong run. He gets popped by Derek Moore, who's had a couple of tackles here to start the game. You saw the production there from McAllister, and we mentioned Ashton Ginty out again tonight, injured, hurt 2 weeks ago against Wyoming. He's second in the nation in yards from scrimmage, but it's also Stephon Cobbs, injured last week. Chase Penry out again. He had been in and out. Riley Smith, the tight end, is out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of guys that are missing tonight. But the one thing you can depend on this offensive line, if they can run the football effectively, it sets up everything for them.
Here is Helani, and he tries to dodge the first man. He does, but can't get away from the rest. Gabriel Lopez, the first one in, no gain.
Gabriel Lopez really did a nice job of penetration, not allowing Helani to get those shoulders going forward. When Helani's able to move forward, man, it's just like you got to get to him before he gets to that second or third level.
Helani motions out. Madsen already with a 42-yard touchdown throw today. Uncorks this, and that's off the hands of Prince Strawn. Zach Morris was right there in coverage, and it's 3rd down and 10.
Zach Morris with very nice coverage. The break on the football was outstanding. Number 2 is going to come into your screen and just, he's on it. He was like Velcro, and that's what you have to do. But now again, Strawn has to make sure you fight through that to try to get that football.
Here comes pressure. Good pocket. Madsen with time again down the sideline and incomplete. Nearly an incredible catch from Billy Bowens. Zach Morris again right there, and a big stand on a shortish field for the Lobo defense.
They haven't been able to get pressure, but this was a nice job by Zach Morris again, just playing the football. He saw the hands go up. As a defensive back, you're taught, knock the ball away. Really good job with that right hand and not pushing him, but pushing the ball away.
So now we'll get a look at James Ferguson Reynolds, the punter for Boise State, one of 10 semifinalists for the Ray Guy Award, the nation's top punter. That was announced yesterday.
71-yard punt guy. God, what a leg.
Leads the nation, averaging nearly 50 per. Jeremiah Hickson will fair catch it. And so New Mexico's second possession coming up next here in Boise. Dark mode activated tonight in Boise. First quarter.
I'm your father.
8-0 Broncos lead. So here's Devin Dampier again. We mentioned first career start, the true freshman, Arizona Gatorade Player out of the Year out of Saguaro High School. He's played throughout the season. They expected to have about a 10 or 20 play package for him, but without Dylan Hopkins on the trip, this is his offense. Had a fumbled snap on the first series. They went 3 and out. His second shot at it, and he's going to keep it here. And he's got a lot of bluegrass in front of him. He breaks across the 25 and the 30, and still on his feet as a flag comes in.
Really nice job of pulling it and then taking off. The blocking was excellent down the field, not only with the offensive line, but the receivers as well. One of the things that they felt he could do is give them a spark on this offense. First drive, it looked like he wasn't, when you're a young guy and you're getting your start, your first start, you don't always play as clean, but the second drive looks a lot better.
There's Danny Gonzalez, who he loses a veteran quarterback, but his team has seen so much promise from Dampier, and he gets a big opportunity tonight.
Taking the officials a little bit of time. Talked about Dampier's good instincts, football savvy, and just really understands, and felt like in that Wyoming game when he had a 99-yard drive, it really gave him a lot more confidence in himself, but also the coaches and the players.
Yeah, that was a 2-score game at the time. It was a big moment. He stepped up. Well, let's get the call.
There is no foul on the play. It will be first down.
But I like some people, when you say sometimes it took a while to make that decision, but I'm glad it was no call, no foul. But this is a nice play. He had personal protector in the tight end there, but he's able now to run the football effectively and run through defenders.
Did everybody on the defense hit him on that run?
I think so.
So first down and 10. It's Krosky Merritt. Good gap, and he breaks a tackle, and he high steps his way out to midfield. Back-to-back big runs.
And what happens on that play, the window dressing in the backfield with the receiver coming around, gets the defense to move just one step. Krosky Merritt, look at the motion there. It moves the linebacker over. Andrew Simpson, that lane is vacated. Krosky Merritt, who they all call Bill, we'll call him Bill as well. Bill went downhill on that running game right there.
This is the #2 rush defense in the league. It's the pass game where this Boise State defense has been beaten this year. Dampier goes to the air and completes it to Caleb Medford, the transfer from TCU. Well, I think before.
Sorry about that, guy. You're going to see Schramm and Simpson, those two linebackers, 10 and 52, play a key pivotal role for this defense. You talk about rush defense. They are really critical along with the offensive line, but you can see the improvement there that New Mexico has been able to make from last year to this year. Huge jump in yardage.
Under Bryant Vincent, who spent the last 5 years at UAB, Dylan Hopkins, the quarterback who's not here, also came from UAB with them, and it's worked very well for the Lobos. A different challenge tonight. 2nd down and 6. Dampier, a long throw, but it's to a wide open man, Ryan Davis. And that's another 1st down and another chunk play.
That offensive line has really improved. Don't allow a lot of sacks. Only 11. And he's able to really get the ball out quickly. This is a long throw, but he has time. Good clean pocket. You can just see the check down right over there by the 40-yard line. Catch, run the football, and then get another 1st down.
When you mentioned the offensive line, it's one of the reasons they've improved so much. They gave up 43 sacks last year, and this year they're in the top 20 at protecting the quarterback. This is Andrew Henry, his first touch of the day. He gets turned back inside, able to get positive yardage. First man there was DJ Schramm, but a pick up a 4.
Well, they try to go to the left with the offensive line and then have him come around. Schramm does a nice job. He's the rock of the defense, not allowing as much yardage as you would think with a guy that has all that speed.
Bryant Vincent, who has led that big turnaround on offense this year, and they did a good job with transfers. They really have a talented wide receiver group, and Krosky Merritt's done a good job carrying the ball as well. McClure goes in motion, and this is Dampier, the quarterback again, and he'll flip it. That is caught to Trace Bruckler. And they're putting together a drive right now.
Really is nice. It's a very diverse drive. Bruckler had a really nice block earlier, and this is where Dampier is effective. He shows you there, so you have to respect the handoff, and then he makes you think he's going to run. And again, when he dips that shoulder, look at that. It throws Simpson off just a little bit to allow him to flip the ball outside. Now in the red zone, this is a very effective offense, and they've really gotten better not only yardage-wise, but scoring this year as well.
And they like to be aggressive. That's what Bryant Vincent told us in the red zone. But they're going to start with a little bit of a disadvantage here as flags fly.
It's been the one thing for them, self-inflicted
Full
wounds.
start, 66 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Torian Stafford, Tito wears a feather in his cap. You can see that. He started that when he was at A&M. Says he does it because of the beauty of nature and the world we live, but got to hold your water.
So now it's 1st and 15. And whistles. And a timeout. Boise State taking a timeout on defense before the play.
Boise State. This
You said that New Mexico team is aggressive down here. Boise State didn't like something they saw. They wanted to make sure they were on point.
Friday night primetime comes to FS1 as Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders lead Colorado in a Pac-12 battle under the lights against Washington State. That's Friday night at 10:30 Eastern on FS1. Colorado, who, as far as I can tell, only plays in incredible games. They had another one today, a tough loss to Arizona at the last moment.
Yeah, they have been struggling as well as Washington State down the stretch, but they both play exciting football games.
Both of them had their games come down to the final seconds today.
I know.
Should be fun on Friday. Well, this is a Boise State program, and you know everybody here knows it. Every Bronco fan watching, and everybody who's not a Bronco fan but's used to watching games for the last quarter century on the blue turf knows 25 straight winning seasons here at Boise State. That is the pressure that this program feels, and that is at risk right now this month as they enter play today at 4-5.
It's really incredible when you think about the success they've had. I've been out here years ago and got to see the blue turf, and every time you come here, you can just see you feel it in the community how much they love this football program.
They've really been close. 5 losses for them, 4 by 1 score. Trying to keep New Mexico out here on the second possession of the game for the Lobos. They're putting together a drive. First down and 15 after the Boise State timeout. Here's Dampier after the play action. In trouble, and he throws it complete. It's the tight end again, Trace Bruckler, who never gives up on Dampier. That's 2 quick passes to him on this drive.
Make yourself available to a young man that will keep it alive to the very last second. I didn't think Dampier had any chance of throwing that ball back inside. Simpson is chasing him down, and he's still able to get it off before he goes out of bounds.
So wow. That's a 10-yard pickup, and it makes it 2nd and 5.
But look at the grab by Bruckler off the dirt. He almost looked like a first baseman digging it out. Wow. Boise has to step up here because they're going to be aggressive. New Mexico is. They got to find a way to take away what they want to do in this offense.
It's the quarterback, Dampier, keeping it, weaving his way back into the middle of the defense, and he'll make it a 3rd down and 1. Ahmed Hassanin there on the tackle.
God, he left 2 defenders just on the ground. I mean, he was able to get by on Sheldon Newton and Jaden Virgin. They were left in the dust. I don't know how. I mean, that jump cut ability by Dampier is really incredible. And you're going to have to make sure when you have him in your sights, break down and go through him and not to him.
This is where it gets loud again in here. Play clock winding. They get it off. And Dampier, let's see where they mark him. Cortez Hogan's was there on the tackle.
With it changes to 1st down. I think if he did, he barely got that.
It is a 1st down, so 1st down and goal.
It's the element of having your legs and being able to use that, but also his ability to keep plays alive is what really has ignited this offense on this 2nd drive.
Corey Krosky-Merritt behind him in the pistol. 11th play of the drive. Krosky-Merritt takes a hit and finishes it in the end zone. Touchdown, Lobos.
Andrew Tubner came up with the vengeance, and Krosky-Merritt ran right through it.
What an answer.
They talked about 34 being a solid tackler. He's going to come in here and just like a heat-seeking missile. But Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt said, I'm running through it. I'm going to the house for 6.
Well, he's got a nose for the end zone. That's his 13th touchdown of the year. Drizwicki on for the point after. And he's got it. So a big drive put together after they went 3 and out on the first possession. The Lobos came to play on the blue turf. After a 3 and out on the opening possession, a 10-play drive to score on possession number 2 for the Lobos. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the back, doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But Devin Dampier made some plays.
Yeah, he did. He kept drives alive, and that spark that they were talking about, you could see it in that second drive.
Drizwicki to kick away to Caden Dudley. He's got a head of steam here. Another chance at a return. And he jumps forward to about the 28-yard line. Well, it's a big final stretch here in the Mountain West this week and next week as well. Some big games, and the week after. Boise's going to host Air Force here at the end of the season. UNLV won last night to improve to 5-1. Fresno State playing San Jose State tonight. Air Force is in Hawaii. And there's a lot still to be decided in a Mountain West race that's shaping up to be pretty good here down the stretch.
I agree with you. First down average so far, New Mexico 9.3, Boise State 4.3. Let's see if they can get going on first down. Boise.
That's half of Boise's season average. This is the end around to Caden Dudley, and that's a good chunk on first down.
The Broncos want to win on first down. Every team says that, but they have done that so effectively this year. And I think that's the one thing that New Mexico's defense says they have to take away, because that leaves them with less options, especially with a young quarterback like Madsen that's playing as well.
Kalani behind Madsen in the pistol. And Halani's going to get it. Destin Gaynor right there. A flag comes in at the end. And we'll check on the penalty.
This defense so far has played actually pretty well. Last week they were struggling against a UNLV team that just throttled them early. But they've been in ball games, New Mexico, and it's been because of their defense playing better and their offense being more effective.
Personal foul, hands in the face, 93 defense. 15-yard penalty out of the end of the run. Automatic first down.
God, I've seen that called so much this year, much more than I have in the past. Right there, you're going to see the one thing with Destin Gaynor.
Yep.
Hand up in the face, and I've seen it a lot more this year. You usually get the pad, your hand in that pad, but it'll go up in the face mask area, and if it does, they're calling it. And it's on the outside, so you can see that clearly.
Here's Halani. And he gets stopped up immediately. Dimitri Johnson for maybe an inch. No gain.
Well, this defense is designed on getting into gaps, bringing people from different levels. You'll see the Lobo, you'll see the Wolf position, but this 3-3-5, Rocky Long is the guy that kind of created it on the West Coast, and now, you know, understanding how to play it, you've got to have a real good Lobo position, and that's number 11, Derek Moore, who's starting tonight instead of Tavian Combs.
Troy Reffitt taking over as the defensive coordinator this year for the Lobos. There's Halani dancing his way through, churning for a first down. He had Derek Moore and Dante Martin on his back.
If you remember St. John Bosco, you'll remember Halani. And again, he's the physicality that he brings. If you don't bring him down with that first guy, it usually takes 2 or 3 when you watch him on tape.
Well, his third game back from injury after missing 6. And we wondered, does he have his legs yet? I think the answer to that is yes.
He does. He was carrying Bobby Wooden and Derek Moore on that play.
Dudley again in motion. Madsen, big pocket, and it closes quickly, and down he goes. Tate Zimmerman with the tackle.
Tate Zimmerman coming off the edge, and he's able to just beat the tackle. And that was a nice play by a safety coming from downhill, or a linebacker position, excuse me, and then coming in and making the tackle. Really nice job by Tate Zimmerman.
Second down at 17. Back to Halani. It'll bring up a third down and 13 for this offense.
That's the problem that you have when you lose those yards. And that sack gave up so much. Now it's 3rd and long. That's not a good place to be. Usually your percentages go up much higher, 3rd, 5 or less. If you're 3rd and more than 5, it's tough.
Deep shot. Strawn. Did he bring it in? Yes, he did. Prince Strawn with a 31-yard reception.
Free play. Nice job by Madsen of identifying that offsides by the defense, and you just go and attack. Strawn, another one of them that they need to step up.
And as they talk about the penalty, we'll tell you that Madsen has just exited the field. He's jogged off with a high five for Talon Green, who's come on to play quarterback.
Rolling on the field is a catch inbounds. Offsides, number 99 defense. That penalty will be declined. First down.
99 coming right there, getting offsides, and then that just gives you a free play. Strawn with a really nice job of staying with the football, catching it, and bringing it in almost with one hand. Zach Morris, they picked on him. They finally were able to get to him.
Just a 5th career catch for him. So now here's Talon Green. This is part of what was expected. They said maybe 10 to 15 plays for him, the backup quarterback who comes in for Madsen. Here in the low red zone, he's going to give it. There's Helani into the end zone. Touchdown Broncos.
Really nice job on the interior of the offensive line. Talon Green is going to have about 10 plays, but it doesn't really matter when you have that counter play coming inside and you just match it up perfectly. Helani running downhill effectively. Look at those two guys in front just knocking. There's no white jerseys to touch him until he gives the ball to the official. That's the easiest touchdown Helani's going to probably have in his career.
Already a 2-point conversion today. This is the traditional one, and it's a 15-7 Boise State lead to end the first quarter. A lot of challenges, adversity both teams are facing, and both are passing the test so far. There's Prince Strawn wearing 17, Austin Bolt wearing 81. 2 big catches for 2 guys who entered play with 5 combined receptions in their career. Bolt had the touchdown earlier, and Prince Strawn just had the big catch to set up the touchdown from George Helani.
Longest catch of his career, first touchdown for Austin Bolt. I think those are the real key things you wanted to see. How would they answer, and how would they understand what could happen on a night when they would have opportunities to make plays?
So the Lobos have another answer in them. Look at Devin Dampier on the last drive. He did it all.
Well, he was able to get a nice gain here. Buckler out there blocking. The receivers know when you have a guy that runs the football. And then this one was really nice. Last second, dumped the ball away. When you have a quarterback that can stay alive, you make sure you're with them. You're matching that up. You're mirroring what he does as a receiver, because you know at any second he could just flip you the football, and Dampier is able to show you that ability.
Caden Pope goes in motion, and Dampier wants to throw. Loading up for a shot. Caleb Medford's got it. A big play for the Lobos, and he fights his way down to the 16.
Wow.
58-yard haymaker.
Dampier has been playing well, but Medford really playing well. And I think this was a job of just setting it up and knowing we're going to go for a strike and take advantage of McCoy in the coverage. That's just one of those moves. You make him think you're going outside. He's sitting on that route, not thinking on the first play they're going to attack like that.
So Boise State defense has given up almost 280 yards passing per game. That's been the Achilles heel.
Ryan Vincent said he was susceptible to double move. They got him on that one.
Frosty Merritt turning the corner, and he gets popped out at the 6 by Jalen Clark.
You know, in talking to the coaches, you can tell sometimes just by what they don't say, but that was one of the things they talked about, susceptibility to double move. And then you come back with your Corey Frosty Merritt or Bill from Montgomery, Alabama, who can run the ball effectively. 13 touchdowns so far in scoring position again. I really like how they've been able to attack this defense.
Now we're in a situation where if he hadn't started, Devin Dampier might come into the game, just like Talon Green did on the other side.
Exactly right. He would normally be rotating, but now he's going to take all the snaps with no other quarterback there for them.
And Danny Gonzalez wants a timeout before this 1st and goal snap. First timeout taken by the Lobos.
Yeah, they weren't really prepared for what they wanted to do. Boise State said, hey, look, what do you guys want to show us? This is where they've been effective, though. They really said, we attack in the red zone. High red, low red, and part of it, guys, because they've done a really nice job of going live, twos and twos and ones and ones, and they've given themselves a really good opportunity to be better in the red zone this year.
Look at this number, 93% of their red zone drives, they score. 79% they score a touchdown. That's 5th best in the nation. And one of the challenges, talking to Spencer Danielson, Boise State's defensive coordinator, he said they create 2 problems, right? Yeah. Because they can get numbers in the run game with this quarterback.
Exactly.
And they've got a fade ball target, and DJ Washington wears number 0.
Yeah, they conflict you. They put you in a conundrum.
Washington's not on the field right now, though. Merritt breaks through.
New Mexico touchdown, 5-yard.
And the Lobos answer.
Just like Kalani had an easy touchdown, Krosky Merritt scoring his 14th, the second on the night.
Wow.
Well, it almost looked like they were going to go outside. They had a one-on-one matchup. But this is nice when you come back across. It slows the defense down just enough. But look at the blocking out there. See J.C. Davis really doing a nice job from that left tackle position. One of the best grades from Pro Football Focus on the year in the pass game, but that was a really nice run block by 75.
Drzwicki with the point after a 3-play, 90-second drive for the Lobos. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt has New Mexico within 1. Last night game here at Albertsons Stadium this year, and it was a just perfect day today here in Boise. It's been a beautiful week and a cool but enjoyable night.
Got us a physical football game to cap off that night.
2 touchdowns already for Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, and a short kick here. And Caden Dudley gets his 3rd return of the game, and he gets tackled down across the 25. Well, close games, the Broncos are used to that. 5 losses this year, 4 of them have been by 1 score. First, shockingly, on the blue turf back early in the season against UCF, and then the 3-point loss at the end of September to Memphis. Colorado State by a single point in dramatic fashion, and then in what was just a big-time battle last week against their rival, Fresno State, 37-30. They came up short.
They've been so effective in the past, too. That's what upsets them with those lost opportunities.
Maddox Madsen on course, blown coverage into the hands of Prince Strawn. Gone!
Whenever you have 2 defenders running the wrong way and the receiver going the other way, generally it's going to be a touchdown. And we got the questions answered about who were going to step up, whether it was Bolt or Strong. They have both come to play tonight. What's the nickname of Madsen? Mad Dog?
Mad Dog.
These guys here. I mean, when you have your folks not on point, it's just tough. And that's a huge play, but 2 players going with 1 as opposed to staying with the right person. You got to stay on. And this is too easy of a touchdown, but it's a touchdown you'll take every single time if you're Prince Strong. Take it to the house and give your team a lead.
Prince Strawn putting together the highlight reel tonight. A couple of big-time catches for him.
His brother and Michael plays for Indianapolis. He's making some plays the other day. I actually got to call the Carolina Panthers Indianapolis Colts game in Charlotte, so seeing one brother to another.
That's awesome. This is going to be Caleb Medford who catches the hop. Flag comes in behind the play. And Medford gets some help to wrestle his way out to just shy of the 30. Check on this penalty. On this Veterans Day, Michael Catone, our referee, thinking of his son Austin Catone, who serves in the U.S. Navy, watching this game from San Diego.
Got a chance to spend some time with the officials. They were at the same hotel.
I think we might be trying to figure out the number. We saw the signal there. Last week, a big, in terms of the scoreboard, loss for New Mexico, but so much of it came back to self-inflicted wounds. And here they are in a game where it feels like mistakes are going to be a big part of it.
When you're a team that's not winning and trying to find a way to win, you can't have those kind of mistakes. You can't have penalties and you can't have busted coverage like we saw on the touchdown, because you don't have the capability to come back from those if you keep doing it. Special teams has been atrocious for them, and I think they've solved some of that. Yeah.
There was an invalid fair catch signal by a player other than the recovery player. Therefore, the ball will be spotted at the recovery spot, the 10-yard line. There is no foul in the play. It will be first down.
Any wave at all is going to get called an invalid signal. All right, let's go back to the touchdown.
I want to take you back to the touchdown, because what you're going to see is those two defenders. Now, they have Strong perfectly covered, but what happens is both of them go to the same place and they get thrown off kilter. I don't know what took them away, but you can't leave a guy running straight down the field like that. He probably has never had a touchdown that easy than he had on that one.
From their own 10-yard line to start the drive, Andrew Henry, the back.
Offside.
And with a lot of noise, whistles
on the left side of the line.
False start, 75 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
One of your better players, you have to hold your water. And that's the thing down here. This is a kind of situation, a lot of points, right? We see that guy. A lot of things happening, but they want to get people off sides, and they have a flip that they'll show every time that it happens. A false start tracker. The crowd gets into it, man.
Andrew Henry in the end zone. The quarterback Dampier right on the goal line. And movement again. Third false start of the night for the Lobos.
They say they average about 3 or 4 a game.
84 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
And tight end Wyatt Mickler.
Well, you can't let them get in your head. You may need to go to silent count.
Well, the left guard, when the team came onto the field, Tito Stafford was waving his arms, kind of egging the crowd on to make noise.
Well,
got what he asked for.
Listen to the crowd as they get ready to snap this football.
Boy, late start for the offensive line there, and the quarterback Dampier just burrows his way out across the 6. But Charles, everybody,
the center was the only one moving. But that's what happens sometimes. They need to have a way where your guard can tap the center to let them know we're all ready. The center's ready to go, but everybody else is they've had 2 back-to-back penalties that they were late to start as opposed to early to start.
Second down and 14.
And the play clock went down on them really close. Let's see if that happens again this time.
It's down to 2. Stretching it out, Andrew Henry. And he goes backwards. Shea Oladipo, the nickelback, there for a loss of 4.
And when your defense knows the crowd is getting behind you like that, you just fly off the football. That front four just made it so uncomfortable. They're able to get off the ball and just push back. They're strong as a defensive front, and it was nowhere for them to run on that particular play. Now you just need a couple of yards so you can at least punt it, because that's where they've been in dire straits, and Boise State has been able to block punts consistently over the years against New Mexico.
Play clock is gone. At 0. Did New Mexico get a timeout? They did.
Yeah. This is where you don't want your young player to be right here. These fans know it.
Well, this is a football team that's 4-5, but this crowd brought its A game tonight. Third down here for New Mexico. 2 false starts already on this drive.
And it's third into the Capitol building. They don't have many plays here. They just have to get something so they can punt it out of here.
There's the quarterback, Dampier, keeping it. And he takes a couple of pops. He gets some breathing room for the punt team. Jalen Clark and Andrew Simpson there on a run of 11 yards. But we remind you about all the struggles on special teams for New Mexico in a big spot. In the last 2 years, Boise State's blocked 3 punts against this group. They changed their special teams coach this week. They've distributed the responsibilities. Troy Reffett has picked up the punt team duties, the defensive coordinator. They give up a lot of yards, and you look at it there. In fact, 20 per return is the worst at the FBS level. So Aaron Rodriguez in a danger zone, and he just gets it away. Fair catch called for and made by Cole Wright. And that was a dangerous situation for the Lobos, but they handled it well.
Guys, as we were saying, you usually distribute it between the whole staff, but it's been so bad you have to find and define locations. That almost got blocked. And that wasn't, Chase Martin, 51, reaches out and almost gets his hand there.
So a short field for this Bronco offense. Alex Madsen under center, making his first career start here tonight. And handing it to George Halani, who feels his way forward for about 4 yards with the forward progress. Make it 5 on the pickup. To George Halani, 20 carries 2 weeks ago in his return to starting duty, 19 last week. And he's at 9 carries, making 10 so far tonight.
Yeah, and we expected to see 20 or more, especially with Genty being out, some of the other things that are going on with the running back position.
Taylon Green comes in at quarterback now. And he's going to give it off to Caden Dudley. And Dudley's got a first down.
Really effective play for them when they're able to get your running back moving at full speed, coming around in the jet sweep area, and then good blocking out there. Matt Lauder really locked up, and then George Alani also leading the charge. That's a really nice play, and when they run it, they usually get chunk yardage.
Taylon Green remains in the game as Cole Wright goes in motion. Green, long throw and a good one on the money to Billy Bowens. A 15-yard pickup.
They have this defense on their heels. Taylon Green coming in and just firing the rock really effectively.
This has been a 2-quarterback system that's really worked coming into play. The number 2 offense in the league.
And they said they would have about 10 plays for Taylon Green tonight, and he's getting those without Eric McAllister, and everyone else is getting the distribution.
It's Green keeping it. Green gets a block, and he scores!
That was a really nice touchdown and real good understanding of the mesh point by Taylon Green. And then he runs over. fan you.
And look who's the first guy to greet him but Maddox Madsen, his fellow quarterback.
And they talked about that. Those guys like really want to have success for each other, cheer for each other, make sure each other are in position to make plays. But this mesh point is what I'm talking about. It gets the defense held, and when you can do this effectively, right to the last second, then you take it, and I'm a knife to the house, and I'm going to go sit down on the sideline because I'm cool like that, because I'm bad like that, and we're up like that.
Little light show in Boise after the Broncos another quick score after great starting field position, and they lead 29-14. Good Taylon Green on the sideline enjoying himself. Well, think about all the things that we've talked about, all the different storylines, all the struggles that just occur to any team going through a 4-5 season. But what about Taylon Green keeping himself ready, being engaged and ready for the moment, given that, you know, he came into this year maybe thinking it's going to be my squad?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Guy. And I think the coaching staff has done a nice job of making sure they understand how we would keep both guys engaged, but we need to find the one that can make plays. And Taylon Green says, okay, well, when you need me, I'm going to come and make some of those plays.
Feels like a big possession for the Lobos.
It really does.
Devin Dampier is going to keep it. A block on the edge for him. He makes two men miss, and DJ Schramm comes to meet him after an 8-yard pickup.
When you have numbers, meaning you have a quarterback that can run like that and you know you can get outside, that's where you are effective, and they've been able to do that tonight. Now, the thing for New Mexico is the self-inflicted wounds of offsides or penalties. That's what they're going to have to stop if they're going to have a chance against this defense. This defense is firing off now and trying to make sure they don't allow him to get comfortable.
Dampier averaging almost 7 yards a carry. He'll give it off here to Krosky Merritt, and he's got a first down. Tubner coming up to make the tackle.
He's a steady guy, former walk-on Tubner, solid tackler. I mean, when you want to look up in Webster's dictionary and you want to see a tackler, Tubner, his name is probably right there, his face as well.
The defense with injuries of its own, just like the offense. Notably, Marco Notriani, the sophomore linebacker, out this week. Ty Benefield out. Dimitri Washington, the senior edgeman, out. Dampier right on the money, complete to Caleb Medford, and he gets out to midfield at another first down, pickup of 14 yards.
Well, that's what's been impressive about his ability to throw the football, because when I've seen him on tape, he does, but you haven't seen it to this degree. That ball came out, that was a strike, and the ability for the receiver to catch it, turn up the field, and gain some more yards. Those are the things from a young quarterback you want to see if he can handle in a hostile environment like this. He's starting to try to answer some of those questions.
Late clock under 10. Krosky Merritt the back. He'll cut it back, and he cannot get away from Alexander Tubner.
Tubner always around the ball. Boundary safety came up, and if he doesn't tackle him, Krosky Merritt may be running still. The umpires, they're talking about it. We were talking about the umpires earlier today, and I said, I used to use you guys as my pick guy. Tubner, coming from the safety position, understands what that is, and that's why they have conversations. If he doesn't make that tackle, he may still be running. That's why he earned that Scully, though, just the ability to play like that and be effective in this boundary position where he's coming up right now.
Dampier fakes the pitch and drops it in. And a first down again for the Lobos. Trace Bruckler, another reception and another pickup of 14.
God, we talked about this before today. They really tried to make it easier. Look how they flood the zone. Tubner, 34, coming up, has to respect Bruckner, and then he just flips the ball right over. You have a high receiver, a medium receiver, who's Bruckner, and a low receiver. Easy read for a young quarterback.
See his numbers there, 6 of 7 passing so far today. Wants to throw again. Throws it back. There's the tight end Bruckler again. And he gets down to the 20-yard line. Check that, stepped out about the 21.
Really like this play call. And what you do is you just get your tight end out, and he'll sneak out late. Leak is what we call it, and he's at the 30-yard line. But what it is everything going back the other way, then you come back to the boundary with Bruckler. Really tried to do some different things for Dampier because of his movement ability, but also his ability to throw the football with some accuracy on the move.
Bruckler's matched his season total entering play with 4 catches today. Henry.
Jalen Clark coming up to make that tackle from the edge. I saw him warming up, and you could just tell he was intense, ready to play this game today.
Feels like a big 5 minutes in this game. New Mexico gets the ball first to start the second half.
Yeah, it does, and we talked about that before this drive started, being one that they had to answer because they need a score, touchdown if you're a New Mexico fan, but then you get the ball back in the second half and take away as much clock as you can because this Boise State offense has shown quick strike ability.
Krosky Merritt racing around the edge, and he takes another pop, and he's very near another first down. 9 yards on that pickup.
He and Tubner are becoming fast friends in the alley. Meeting in the alley, and you want to hear how it sounds if you think you like football. Yeah, Tubner has no fear, and Krosky Merritt says, okay, let's just keep doing this.
There's Brian Vincent, who told us this week Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is the hardest practice player on the offense, a guy that leads by example. And you had to figure everyone looked to him knowing that the quarterback was getting his first career start today. And he's answered the bell. 3rd down and a short one. He's got it again. Dips around 2 defenders to pick up the first down.
The patience of Krosky Merritt is what you see when you watch tape. But when you see him live, it becomes so much better. The cut is going to be one thing. He's already cutting before the guy gets to his feet, and then he's able to go. That should have been a tackle in the backfield by Feely, but he doesn't get him. And then Tubner. I'm going to make you miss me this time, Tubner. We've been running into each other too much tonight. I got to just show you I can also slide by you.
First down and goal. Dampier looking, and he threw it behind Erickson. There was Tubner in coverage, and it's 2nd down.
A young quarterback mistake. If you're going to throw that ball, make sure it's out in front or down low, and there is a penalty flag on this play.
On the opposite side of the field from where that play happened.
This offense seems to have just kind of have a little spark with Dampier in there.
They really do.
Yeah, I mean, there's something a little bit different about them.
They've had 2 drives that you hope to burn the tape on. And they've had a handful of other drives that have been some of the best of the year.
It's when you say, Coach, can we not watch the tape this week? And
Fast forward.
Yeah. He's like, no, we're going to watch all of it and multiple times.
Ineligible downfield, number 6 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's Ryan Davis.
He must have been covered and not able to then go down the field. Usually you get an offensive lineman, but for whatever reason, their formation didn't allow him to be a receiver in that situation.
So backs him up, 1st and goal. Andrew Henry is the running back. And another timeout for New Mexico. They'll take their 2nd. Pardon me, they'll take their last. First and goal at about the 11-yard line. It's what coming up, and let's check in with Mike Hill and see what's coming up on the State Farm Halftime Show.
Hey, coming up on the State Farm Halftime, Michigan keeps rolling even without Jim Harbaugh, while Washington survives a major mental lapse, and Georgia's win streak just keeps on going and going and going. And Guy and Charles, we like the Energizer Bunny. We'll see you at the half.
All right, Mike. Your old teammate Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Been in the news.
Hey, you know what? Jim is one of the most ultra-competitive guys. And if the things that they were doing, if they are true, it merits what's happening. But now, you know he wants to go to the next level.
They're galvanized.
And it's making those guys galvanized behind him.
So no timeouts remaining for the Lobos. Andrew Henry remains in the game as the running back off the right shoulder of Devin Dampier. True freshman making his first career start here in Boise. He wants to throw. Eyes downfield. And he throws it to Henry, the back. Good find. And he gets down to about the 6-yard line and pick up a 4.
Really impressed how this offensive line has been able to hold up. But that was really nice coverage in the back end by Boise. And then he just has to find his receiver in the check down. Very smart play by a young player. Sometimes they want to do too much. Dampier says, no, I'm going to give it to you and let you do the rest.
You think they're thinking 4-down territory given the way Boise has scored?
I think so. They have to come away with points here and then know they'll get the ball coming out at the half.
DJ Washington, he's the fade ball threat. He's lined up at the bottom of the screen. Dampier's going to give it. Krosky Merritt fighting, throws a defender, he lost the ball, and the Broncos have it. Jaden Virgin with the recovery.
When you try to do too much with the football, it can come back to haunt you. And Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt had run so well and been effective, but he's trying to throw the defender off of him. And this is a nice job of taking the ball away from him. You got him held up.
Shea Oladipo.
Yeah, Oladipo does an outstanding job of getting the ball out.
Well, maybe it was Tubner.
Yeah, you have to protect the football. Tubner was there as well, but it looked like Oladipo maybe pulled it first.
You're right.
You have to protect the football down in these areas. Jaden Virgin with his second fumble recovery on the year.
It's now Boise State, who's shown an ability to strike quick, takes over with 2 timeouts and 2 minutes remaining in the half. Oh, that's behind Prince Strawn in a dangerous area.
Well, the thing with New Mexico's defense, they haven't been able to have takeaways like they want, and they really haven't been able to pressure quarterbacks. And that's been the problem for them. And I think Boise understands that and can attack this defense to try to get some points going into the half.
Here's George Holani. And he'll bring up a 3rd down. Well, how big would it be if they could get a stop here? It would you think about Krosky Merritt sitting over there on the bench right now praying for one.
Yeah, he's frustrated with himself because he was trying to do too much, and that happens sometimes. But he's hoping that his defense can hold. George Holani they're going to get a healthy dose of him as well.
Oladipo with the huge play. Play clock is at 5.
Look like they're just going to take their time
and take a timeout. So 3rd and 5 coming up for Maddox Madsen. A reminder what's coming up on the State Farm halftime show. You can join Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho, and Chris Peterson. Highlights from around the country, including Ole Miss, Georgia, Utah, and Washington, and Michigan, Penn State. Plus big noon kickoff, post-game reaction from Happy Valley. That's all coming up on the State Farm halftime show.
Pretty exciting games earlier. When you have a night game, it allows you to watch others. And that Washington-Utah game was, oh man, that was back and forth.
That was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Washington stays unbeaten. A team that really, they're the only ones that's manhandled Boise State this year. That Washington squad.
Well, Boise has just been in every ball game. 7 straight games of 30 points or more, 40 more against North Dakota.
3rd down and 5. Plenty of time for Maddox Madsen, the quarterback. And he'll give it. Holani, he's got a 1st down. Out to the 25.
The biggest thing is the defensive front for New Mexico can't get off blocks, and now they'll go with tempo after picking up that first down.
Madsen runs into his own man, stumbles backward, now accelerates, and he'll pick up about a yard. It looked like his face mask might have been grabbed as well in the backfield. We'll check on this penalty.
It looked like he ran into Cage Casey and then got the face mask grabbed, which gives him 15 more yards if that's the case.
Well, for all of the rightful attention on Taylon Green, make no mistake, Madsen is a guy that can run as well.
Personal foul, face mask, number 36 of the defense. 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Sixth penalty on New Mexico tonight.
Just the inability to get him down, but also make mistakes by doing it.
Sire Riley, the one who got a hand in there. 6 penalties for New Mexico, none for the Broncos. So that is holding up to the season numbers so far for both teams. So now the clock will wind. Here comes pressure, picked up, and good coverage that time by Christian Ellis on Prince Strawn, and it's second down.
You know, even when they come with pressure, guys, they're not able to get to the quarterback. And that's just been a thing that they have talked about as a staff, being at every 12 times, you should be able to get a sack 1 out of the 12 times that you come with pressure. They haven't been able to do that consistently this season.
As Troy Reffett, the defensive coordinator, told us, their sack rate, his words, horrendous.
Yes, he said it.
He said we can get some pressure, but it's got to result in sacks, more pressure. And a quick throw. Helani steps out of a tackle. He's across midfield. He's looking for blocks. He just got one. He's looking for another, and he gets tracked down finally by Alec Marenko, and a pickup of 40 yards.
Should have been a 5-yard gain, but he made people miss, and really good blocking by the receivers, which gives you explosive plays. Helani doesn't look fast, but man, when he gets moving, he's going. He's going to just check down right in the middle. There's pressure coming, and he hits the vacated area. Can't make the tackle there and making people miss, but this is what I like. Linemen downfield, receivers blocking downfield. Really nice job by this team. Billy Bowens with a nice block there, 18. And you have a kicker that can boom it, 52. I think it's as long, or 56 is as long. Yeah, 56 on the year.
Jonah Dalmas.
Yeah, he's been in field goal range already.
And Boise State saving its timeout with the quick spike there. Broncos with 4 completions of 30 or more yards already in this game.
They're on the 20, but they're 19.
So second down here after the spike. More pressure, picked up behind Strawn. Hunter Sellers was there in coverage, and it's third down.
Really good coverage on the back end, and they come with that pressure in the A gap right in there between the center, and they can't get to him. Strawn has to reach back, but the ball is way over his head. Again, sometimes when you come with pressure, you have to have guys that can individually win. Not enough with the violent hands that you see some defensive guys make. That's what this New Mexico team is lacking.
Madsen. Caught by Bolt down inside the 5-yard line. It's a first down. They don't want to use their timeout. They get lined up quickly. Madsen spikes it, and the clock stops at 16.
And Guy, they came with pressure, the Lobos defense, but they could not get to him. And that was just an easy throw and catch. And that was smart because now you can attack. All those guys coming up pressuring, an easy throw and catch. Now they're in position. They don't have to kick a field goal. They can get a touchdown.
The operations look pretty smooth for a first career start from the quarterback.
Very good with clock management on this drive as well.
Madsen looking to throw. Steps up, and he goes down. And now in a little bit of a danger zone there.
That's Madsen. Guy you don't want to see going down.
Well, there's Talon Green, who's already played in this game and played well in this game.
We have Talon Green backing up tonight. Going inside. Whenever you get on the inside and guys are grabbing you low and high, a lot of body falling on him. Looks like Gaynor, Destin Gaynor's falls on his leg. He's not putting a lot of weight on that leg. He has played some outstanding football so far today.
200 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, just drove the team all the way down. Remember, this drive started inside their own 10. Take another look.
Got a lot of Lobos falling on him, and yeah, his leg is kind of caught underneath him. Just hope he's okay. So they run the field goal unit out quickly when ball's ready to play.
Jonah Dalmas, who last week made his 69th career field goal, setting the Boise State record. Okay, so Boise State did take a timeout. We just had the announcement.
Yeah. We didn't hear it, but we assumed because it was taking a while.
So they took it after that run to stop the clock. The clock stopped before it was clear that Madsen was hurt. So a good drive here. Almost 13 of 16 this year. His first chance tonight. And he boots it through. Career field goal number 70. A drive that started a minute and 57 seconds ago on their own 7-yard line. Nets 3 points.
Well, they had a couple of explosive plays, penalty, which also gave them some yards, but really understanding how to march down the field.
2 young men making their first career starts here in this first half.
Yeah, Madsen with a couple of explosive touchdowns, and Dampier with nice passing yards. His running ability has shown up very nicely as well.
So 3 seconds remaining in this half. There is Madsen, who briefly went in the tent. Now is, you can see, walking very slowly with assistance.
They've used the 2-quarterback system very effectively. Talon Green had been the starter, and Madsen has been the guy that's kind of backed him up, and now a change tonight. Let's just hope Madsen is okay. He was having a real nice game tonight.
In his moment, right? This was perhaps the first chance of many to be the starting quarterback at Boise State. They run into each other on the return. 2 Lobos, and eventually, after corralling the ball, Nick Trujillo comes to rest at the 18-yard line. Back and forth we went in the first half, but Boise State put up its highest scoring half of the season to lead 32-14. Coming up after the short break, things of Mike Hill, Emmanuel Ancho, and Chris Peterson with the State Farm Halftime Show. Just about ready for the second half, a 32-14 Boise State lead. That score not entirely indicative of how well the Lobos played at times. We welcome you back in. Charles Arbuckle Guy Haberman, this game had a furious pace to it early, and then Boise State took advantage of some mistakes.
Yeah, they did, and I think that's the thing with the Lobos, not being able to capitalize on opportunities and giving away the football at inopportune times.
Two quarterbacks making their first career start today for Boise State. Maddox Madsen had a cool 6 completions for 202 yards in the first half.
Averaged 30 yards of completion, but what he was able to do is get the ball effectively right off the gate to Austin Bolt for a huge touchdown to get them going. And then another one to Strawn, his first long completion, and then the next one he tops that with a 71-yarder and takes it to the house. I think these are the things that are really key for this offense.
But a sour end to the first half when he got hurt.
Yeah, I really hated to see that because he was playing so well. All of that body falling down on his leg and just not in a good position.
So we'll likely see Taylon Green. He's warming up right now for the second half. Meanwhile, for the Lobos, Ja'Cory Krosky-Garrett was fantastic in the first half until he had a sour end to his first half.
Yeah, he did. He was really doing a nice job of running the football, guy, but then Krosky-Garrett was rushing hard here and making people miss, getting in for 2 touchdowns, bringing up, that's 14 on the year for him. But what was so bad is he was trying hard on this last drive to get another score after this one. And you can see him not being in position to run the football and try to throw the defender off of him, and that's where the ball comes out. Really nice job by the defender of pulling the ball out and then turning it back over.
So New Mexico fair catches the kickoff to start this second half. They're going to get the ball first, and an opportunity here in a big moment. Devin Dampier, he was the freshman quarterback on the other side for the Lobos, and he had a very good first half in his own right. 9 of 10 throwing, 147 passing yards, and then 46 on the ground as well. New Mexico was 5 yards a carry between Krosky-Garrett and Dampier. Krosky-Garrett fumbled on his last touch. We just showed you that. And he is back in the game to start this second half. Dampier to throw. Looking. Pressure, spinning, and he completes it to the sideline. Ryan Davis with the catch, a 5-yard pickup. I don't think we count the GPS numbers on his back for all the running around.
I don't know how he got away from all of the defenders that were coming after him. I mean, he's able to make a lot of people miss and keep the play alive, and then finally finding his open receiver. Down the field. You have to make sure you stay with it all the way through with this young man.
Dampier starting for the sick Dylan Hopkins, the senior starting quarterback, did not make the trip. Krosky-Garrett swallowed up immediately. Shea Oladipo a pickup of 1, and it's third down. There's been no in-between drives in this game so far for New Mexico, right?
They kind of feast or famine. Either they score or they give the ball away or have to punt, or it's just not a good drive.
Stayed out of third downs for the most part in the first half. 2 of 4 in these situations. Been a good crowd tonight, and they're loud. Dampier throwing, and a nice adjustment and catch by Ryan Davis for the conversion.
And I think the real key is being able to find the ball quickly. Hickson turned, and then boom, he's able to see the ball up on him. That's the one thing I've been impressed with Dampier, his arm. He's got a nice little rocket when he's deciding to throw the football.
Wants to throw it again. And there's Hickson out to midfield and a first down.
He had been quiet in the first half, and that was the one player they wanted to get more involved in the second half. Said he's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, they said he's the spark plug, right?
Yeah, he is. Comes on that dig route in between everything where you run about 10, 12 yards and then come hard across the middle.
Brian Vincent told us that's the guy that gets everybody going. You brings excitement. He gets people riled up, for better or worse in practice, gets after everybody.
He said he's always talking, and sometimes I have to tell him, hey, this is the time I need you to.
Talking with his play on those last 2 completions. Dampier over the middle. DJ Washington picks it out of the air with his first catch of the night and a pickup of 9.
Very nice job of throwing the ball with anticipation also. The ball is out before the receiver breaks, and that's really good anticipation. Gives him a chance to make the catch. We just saw it from Hickson again, now to Washington. Back-to-back throws. Really nice catches.
Boise State a field goal just before the end of the half to take this 32-14 lead. And the Lobos trying to start this second half by staying within reach. Krosky Merritt explodes, and he thought he was going to get through that hole, and then Jake Ripp returns to the lineup with the tackle. Ripp missed last week's game. He traveled to Fresno State, then was sick, got sick at the hotel, was unable to play, didn't make it to the stadium, and they're happy to have him back.
He does a nice job of filling in when needed for Schramm or Simpson. That linebacker position is really key, especially when you have a running back like Krosky Merritt.
But with tight ends in the game, they go in motion. Pressure coming up the gut, and he gets sacked. Braxton Feely broke through, and Ahmed Hassanin finished it off.
90 and 91, Feely and Hassanin met at the quarterback. Able to get penetration and violent hands like I talk about, but really just fighting through the offensive lineman. And this is, they don't sack much. So that was a huge sack for Feely and Hassanin. Talk about this United Nations of, they speak 8 different languages. They could even sign language to each other.
Hassanin, the native of Egypt, the first Egyptian Division I football player. Second down and long. Dampier with pressure coming again. Slips away. Directing traffic. Trying to do something special. And he avoids the sack at least. Flag comes in the area of the intended receiver.
If that's holding or pass interference, it's because Dampier made that happen. His ability to move around and not get tackled also forces the defensive backs to just say, man, I can't keep going. Jalen Clark, I think, is going to be penalized on that one.
Holding, 6 defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First penalty against Boise State tonight.
And you have to hold for so long because the quarterback is just able to move around. Look, he's got 3 defenders in his face and still, okay, no, you're not going to get me. And then Jalen Clark is like, I have held this guy for as long as I can. Line, I know y'all are trying, but I need your help.
It was 2nd and 19. The penalty makes it first down and 10. He's going to keep it. Dampier gets a block. And he weaves his way, turns his legs, and finally gets ripped down by Chase Martin after another first down.
Trace Ruckler put that block on the edge. Or maybe, excuse me, McClear, 84, right there. Nice. Ruckler, excuse me, right on the edge. Nice block, just springing. When you have a quarterback that can run, it's easy for you as a tight end or a move guy to get over there and just get up his body because they're so keen on trying to get to tackle that you know they'll stop and you can just run right through it.
And whistles and a flag.
False start. This is the one thing they've done.
False start, 0 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
The receiver, DJ Washington, on the outside. All he has to do is look on the inside and make sure you don't jump off sides. But this is one thing they've done, the self-inflicted wound. 7 penalties tonight. You can't have those.
4 of them false starts. Krosky Merritt, the back. Dampier Wow, dances away. And he can't get away again. He did get the ball out right in the vicinity of Bruckler. Hassanin thinking, what do I have to do to get a sack on this guy again? I already got one.
Well, his ability to move and get away from you. Let's see if he was down. He got rid of the football right before. Well, it's hard to tell from that angle, but it looked like he got rid of it right before he went down or anything touched. Bruckler has been the beneficiary of quite a few of those late, almost like a point guard dishing the ball away.
You're right, because he was laying on Hassanin, he avoided the sack, but the play clock is down at 2. They get it off. Dampier into traffic, and it's broken up by Tubner. Another flag on the play, though, back near the line of scrimmage.
Tubner plays that role where he will drop into that area. Did a really nice job. He doesn't like to be in that area all the time, but on that particular play, good coverage.
Michael Catone looking to that Boise State sideline.
Ineligible downfield, 84 offense. That penalty decline, 3rd down.
This is the second time that's happened, and it's been a receiver the first time and a tight end the second time. Those are just things where you make sure, are you on and I'm off, or vice versa. You can't have those kind of penalties. Those are things you learn and install from the very first day of practice.
Now it's 3rd and 15. Lobos trying to communicate. Here comes Heat. Dampier lets it fly. Jump ball incomplete. Broken up by Marion McCoy.
He's trying to go to Caleb Medford. Marion McCoy right there in the coverage. You have your receiver on the outside, running down the field, trying to get to the end zone. McCoy with good coverage and just stays right with him. Knows the ball is going to be up there, and he goes and attacks it.
3 straight incompletions after he started 13 of 14 for Dampier. So here's Drzwicki for the field goal attempt, and that is no good. From 46 yards, a good drive ends with no points for the Lobos. We'll see who's playing quarterback for Boise State when we return. Mondays hit hard, but Colin hits harder. If you love football, then you're going to want to hear what the most interesting man in sports has to say after a huge weekend. So don't miss The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Monday at noon Eastern, only on FS1. Taylon Green comes out to play quarterback for Boise State. The official word from the Broncos is that Maddox Madsen is doubtful to return. We saw him limp off at the end of the first half with assistance and a towel draped over his head. So Taylon Green has already played in this game, scored a touchdown. Starts the second half by swinging it to George Halani, and Halani dances for about 5 on first down. Well, there's Ashton Ginty, the star, who's missing his 2nd straight game, hurt 2 weeks ago against Wyoming. This is a guy who leads the nation in touchdowns, 2nd in the nation in yards from scrimmage, a midseason All-American, one of the best players in the country, out hurt for the 2nd straight game. And George Halani has really helped fill the role tonight, as you would expect that he would. Taylon Green getting involved with the legs as well. But you think about, what does it mean to this offense to not have Ashton Ginty?
Well, it means a lot. And I mean, I think it gives you a 1-2 combination with Halani, who is coming back and working himself back in. And then it just gives you another option from the run game of not, whoever's hot, that's who you can stick with. And I think that's the real key for this offense.
They spent so much time in the preseason, before the season, during camp, working on formations with both of those players on the field, and they really have barely been able to do it. Holani at one point missing 6 games. There's a throw on the money to Billy Bowens. And, you know, the flip side of it is they convert on that 3rd down. It also shines a light on how impressive what they're doing tonight is.
Well, without McAllister. But the one thing with McAllister, if you looked at the numbers, the amount of targets versus the number of receptions, now those targets are going to other places, and you see tonight that it's been a productive amount of receptions and explosive plays. 5
different receivers have caught a ball for Boise State. Taylon Green, tight spiral, and that is caught by Prince Strawn, who's having a real nice game.
And it almost looks like Taylon Green not playing in that first half, and when he has played in spurts, has been able to come in, find himself, and just find the fire away, throw the football effectively down the field to Strawn, who's really had a big game tonight.
There's Bush Hampton, the offensive coordinator, coming into the game with so many moving parts. This has been an impressive performance for him so far tonight. Just 5 receivers coming in. His quarterback gets hurt to end the first half. And now they go back to Holani.
The defender just ran by Holani.
He did. He was targeting the quarterback, not targeting in the new sense, but
he was going
zeroed in on Taylon Green.
He thought Taylon Green had the ball and ran right by Holani, which would have probably been a 2 or 3 yard gain, much more.
Boise State at 6 yards a carry right now. Taylon Green with one of those carries, a first half rushing touchdown. He's keeping it this time. He's got to make a big turn to get around the edge, and then he leaps a defender, diving for the stick, very close to the first down.
That was a really nice job by Taylon Green of jumping over the defender there, Hunter Sellers.
This is 6'6", 221 pounds, getting up in the air.
Sellers is like, I have him in my sight. I have him in my sight. He's got a few words for the New Mexico sideline.
He was marked just shy, so it's 3rd and short.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was short of the first down. The previous play is under further review.
Our first review of the night. And so we'll see the result of the play when we return. Well, they reviewed this, marked short of the line to gain initially, but after review, Taylon Green did extend beyond the first down marker, and it's a first down.
Doesn't hurt to be 6'6". His ability to go over Hunter Sellers and then to stretch and extend over the first down mark.
Plus, it just means we got to watch him jump 7 more times. So Taylon Green will go under center here with Holani behind him. Shea Whiting, the motion man. And here's Holani into a scrum and a pickup of 4 yards.
The other thing with this defense for New Mexico, not being able to turn the ball over, that means teams have had pretty sustained drives. We've seen that tonight, or explosive plays. They also expect more disruption from their guys in the second level, whether they come down as spinners or they're working through the throw off gaps, and it just hasn't worked. They haven't been able to kind of get this Boise State offense off kilter.
Pressure coming off the blind side, so Green lofts it off the back foot, and it's broken up. He was looking for Austin Bolt.
Yeah. And the other thing is Taylon Green and Madsen have protected the football. That's one thing that they were struggling with a little bit over the last few weeks. Austin Bolt, name we knew we would hear a lot of today. Dante Martin right there on him. The pressure coming to Taylon Green, he has to just get rid of it. Riley. Tyer Riley coming late.
So now it's 3rd down and 6. They've done a good job in these 3rd and longs today. Milani, the ocean parts, and he's got another 1st down. Derek Moore finally on the stop.
Whenever you have that receiver in motion, again, it just moves the tackler over one position and look at the hole open up. It's by design that they have to move that 2nd level. They need to respect where the run is going to be. Dimitri Johnson moves out of the position. Where does Helani attack? Right where he was at the beginning of the snap.
10th play of this drive coming up here for Boise State after New Mexico missed a field goal to start the half. Direct snap, Helani, and he steps all the way down to the edge of the goal line, and he is just shy.
Same thing again. You send motion, you move everyone over. Helani then knows I can cut it straight or come downhill. Man, that looks close. Looks like he was able to stay up and get through the end zone. Nothing's down until, man, he did a nice job of reaching out. I think they may look at this again.
Boise State's going to get to the line of scrimmage quickly with some big boys in, and Helani takes care of business himself. The centerpiece of the offense once again, his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Santorinos was there, but just not strong enough to bring Helani down. And again, when you think about how this game flipped, the fumble turned everything around early before the half, and then now this run. But the last drive, they couldn't score, and Helani, physicality at the goal line, touchdown.
Running behind the defensive lineman, Herbert Gums, big 98, who'd come into the game. And the point after right through.
Clydesdale package, right? You got the big Clydesdales that like to march and look pretty, but they also can be effective and run straight downhill and let Helani score.
Fox Sports proudly salutes our nation's veterans and the organizations that serve them every day. That's why we are making Camo our cause this Veterans Day in support of the Honor U.S. Vets campaign. Visit honor.usvets.org/FoxForward to donate and learn how you can help end veteran homelessness. Nick Trujillo is back deep for New Mexico after a dominant drive on the first possession of the 2nd half for Boise State, with Taylon Green taking over for the injured Madsen. And a fair catch. And on this Veterans Day, we'd like to say hello to the father of our side judge, Richard Corona. There you see Joe Corona, who turned 89 years old in February, watching this game from El Paso. Served in Korea and Vietnam. Thank him for his service. And there is his proud son, Richard, with his daughter in that photo, who was very happy to talk about his dad today. We got a chance to talk to him.
We thank all the veterans for their service.
4 members of this officiating crew with family members who served. And thinking of them today as well. There is Dampier right back to work, connecting with Jeremiah Hickson.
This offensive line with Cam Blankenship and also Joe Selfo, who's tight end coach, worked with Chris Selfo in the Alliance of American Football days. I know Joe has to be happy with Trace Bruckler exceeding his receiving for the season in today's game. Dampier is finding weapons as well. They just haven't been able to capitalize on the last 2 drives with touchdowns.
A fumble in the red zone before the half and a missed field goal on the last. That is a little bit behind the intended. Bruckler unable to bring it in, and it's 2nd down. Dampier started this game 13 of 14.
He was on fire. He had, and the other thing is his ability with this defensive line. You have to make sure you rush under control, because if you don't, he's able to just keep going and extending the play further and further.
You see the 190 there on the lower left of your screen that he's thrown for. He's also run for 51 yards.
The problem now, though, they're so far behind that the threat of run isn't really there like it was before.
And now New Mexico will use its first timeout. So we'll step aside. 2nd and 10 coming up here in the final 2.5 minutes of the third quarter in Boise. Well, a lot going on right now around the Mountain West. Air Force 5-0 in the league and in control of their destiny. Obviously, you know, it looked like they were cruising to a Pac-12 or a Mountain West title game appearance. And then Fresno State right now, both of those teams are trailing early in the third quarter of each of their respective games. Air Force is at Hawaii. Fresno State's on the road at San Jose State. UNLV is sitting back and loving this right now.
Yeah, they are.
After they won yesterday. Dampier gets crushed, got rid of the ball, and his receiver never saw it. Andrew Simpson is a hammer.
Oh, man.
And he's got a club to use.
He's fast, he's talented. To get through that B gap, they totally forgot about him. If you can't fall asleep on Andrew Simpson. Even the offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent, said, hey, man, he is electric. We have to know where number 10 is all time.
Playing with one hand and one fist. Dampier had 13 straight completions. He's one of his last 6. And his crowd getting back into it.
The threat of run is not there. You have to throw the football now, and the defense knows it as well.
We have a flag on the field. Did the timeout get called before a delay?
Timeout, New Mexico. That's their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
The answer to that's yes. They did get the timeout.
We talked about it leading into this game. You know, the Broncos are in a position where they are not comfortable, and they haven't been here, right? But I think whenever teams come to play here, you got to know it's going to be a tough environment. It makes me think, I'm reading Lewis and Clark, their expedition, and the Bitterroot Mountains is hundreds of miles away, but Lewis and Clark had to go through that area. And Twisted Hair for the next Pierce Indian said, you don't want to go at that certain time. I think that's when teams come here, they feel like they got to fight when they come and play these Broncos.
A hard river to ford. Third down. Quick throw complete to Krosky Merritt, the running back. He gets very near out to the 45, shy of the first down by a yard. It's 4th down and 1.
A good twist on what they've been doing. They put him on the outside, and they have to go for this. And actually, it's the first down.
Well, they gave it to him. They initially marked him a yard short.
At first, it looked like it was a yard short, and then they just said, no, the chains moved that way. But Krosky Merritt again lowering the boom.
Well, okay, so his foot, that ball was out in front before he stepped out, similar to Kalen Green picking up the first down on the last possession. Good eye there by the official. And now Dampier wants to throw, and he loads up, and he heaves it. Coming out of the sky, too far in front of Caleb Medford, but a flag is down.
The ball hanging for so long allowed the defender to have a pass interference or a holding penalty. I mean, that ball hung up.
Pass interference for the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Rodney Robinson, the free safety. And he is upset with that. The ball hung for a long time. And he comes over late, and he's grabbing onto the defender. And a lot of times that would not be called. That penalty would not be called. He and J.L. Skinner, who played here, are really close. He's going to be having a conversation with J.L. about that one.
He gets a first down on what was a first down, but a 1st and 10 now down to the 39-yard line. New Mexico averaging almost 10 yards on first down. Dampier with time again. Unloads for DJ Washington. And the closest man to it was the cornerback, Jalen Clark.
DJ Washington, the intended receiver, complete.
DJ just looked like he was running a clear out route, kind of slowed down a little bit. Really didn't have but 2 receivers on that route, so very well covered. Jalen Clark, who has played well tonight, a long, athletic defensive back at 6'2", 201, out of Tacoma, Washington.
Interesting to see Bryant Vincent, the offensive coordinator, and Devin Dampier having a little conversation almost between every play on the sideline. Dampier's going to keep it, and he cannot evade Jake Ripp.
Jake Ripp with a very nice tackle, one-on-one with Dampier, who has made a lot of people miss tonight. 43 is going to just show up here in the hole, and it's him.
He's got a crossover.
Yeah, he does. Look, he's like, okay, I'm going to break down. You're going to get me, but if I get one leg, you're going down.
3rd down and 10 again. Pressure picked up. Dampier. That might have been tipped as he got rid of it, and Rodney Robinson was in coverage on Ryan Davis. I think Dampier thought his receiver got held, and now it's 4th and 10.
They did a real nice job of picking up all the pressure that was coming in front of his face.
Mexico's been good on 4th down this year. Take another look here at the pressure getting picked up.
Prosky Merritt right there. Boom. And Zion Washington coming late.
Popped up, it still bothered the throw too.
Yeah.
Brian Vincent directing traffic from the sideline. And whistles.
The problem you have when you're behind is you almost have to play perfect football to even have a chance to come back.
False start on the offense. All players were not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
5th false start.
Well, and this crowd lets you know it. They have a counter clock, or they have every time it happens, they have a 5 that shows up. There's 5 5s in the stands, and they're proud of it. But that's the one thing you cannot do. Self-inflicted wounds when you get this far behind. You can't have it.
Here comes the crowd again on 4th and 15. Heat up the gut, and Dampier gets swallowed alive. Andrew Simpson with one hand and one fist and one sack and a turnover on downs.
It looked like the kitchen sink was coming. And that was led by Andrew Simpson. No threat of run. You're in a difficult situation, and before he could even get to his launch point, everyone is right there, including Andrew Simpson.
Talking to these coaches, and it was really Bryant Vincent, the New Mexico offensive coordinator, who told us that guy's going to be a rock star. That was his description of Andrew Simpson, the sophomore. And so now here comes Talon Green back. He's just joining us. Both quarterbacks played, but this was Maddox Madsen's night. He was the starting quarterback, and he was going to get to be the man and he got hurt at the end of a first half, in which he's thrown for over 200 yards. So Talon Green's taken over for the Broncos. And again, this has been part of the story as Breezy Dubar went to carry. Starting field position for this Lobos defense now for the 2nd week in a row is really difficult.
It was horrible last week because of their punt team, and tonight it's just been because of multiple things. But it hasn't stopped the Broncos offense from scoring. They have just been on a tear. Every time they've had a chance, they've had explosive plays and scored a lot of points.
They've scored on 6 of their 7 drives today. 5 touchdowns and a field goal, and they've got more opportunities coming. A team that's used to winning. 1 quarter away from getting back to 500. As we enter the fourth quarter, take a look at how this game is broken down through the first three. That was almost a 14 in the second quarter for New Mexico and a 14 in the second quarter for Boise, but a late turnover and a field goal.
That was the real shift in that game, in this game, to me, just from the standpoint of opportunities.
8th straight game in which this Boise State offense has scored at least 30 points. And we start the fourth quarter on a second down in Lobos territory. Jalen Green gives the Dubar. He goes down after a short gain of 2.
Dubar, nicknamed Breezy, out of Anna, Texas.
Another one of the freshmen.
Yeah,
right. This is a
young guy.
Strawn, who's had a big game today. Very impressive.
And they've always recruited Texas pretty heavily. Boise has done a nice job there, and California. They've got some really good talent.
Well, and historically with this program, what you know is whatever you are as a freshman, you're going to be better than that as a sophomore. Here's Dubar with another first down. A flag comes in as he gets tackled there by Derek Moore. We'll check on the penalties. The officials talk. Derek Moore, who has had an emotional week, left the team, flew to LA on Thursday night to be at the funeral for his grandmother, Countess D. Moore.
62 offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Remains third down.
And you hear the penalty there. So he goes to his grandmother's funeral and then got to Boise late Friday. And, you know, I know that as we talked to his head coach, Jenny Gonzalez, it's such a love for him and such an appreciation that he needed to go back home and be with his family.
Wasn't worried about football. He's a young freshman getting ready to play, but he said, go be with your family. Don't worry about us. We'll be here. We'll be here for you, whatever you need.
And he's a freshman for the Lobos that has such a promising future as well. As that throws right on a dime to Billy Bowens. And Billy Bowens came in with 16 catches so far this season, but he's been the recipient of a few more targets and 3 catches in this game.
Guy that can play all 3 positions, meaning you can be inside, outside, slot. He can just do a lot of different things for them in their offensive firepower. And with that opening now, guys are getting opportunities.
Dubar. And he picks up a handful on first down. Maddox Madsen, who was injured at the end of the first half, and you can see there a big brace on his right leg, which got bent underneath the defense in a pile while he was running the ball.
Another one of those freshmen, redshirt freshmen out of Utah, Mad Dog. What you write about this program, man? There's a great development, no matter who's been here. Chris Peterson, Dan Hawkins, I mean, just the list is endless of what they've been able to do.
Taylor Green starts and stops and starts again and picks up the first down.
And being able to watch it and witness it from a distance, you're always impressed when you can come here and see it. They're getting ready to go quick.
Because they didn't get the first down. It's 3rd and short. And the ball comes out. It's recovered by Dubar, but it's a loss of 2.
They're going the other way. And he never got the snap cleanly. Dubar is able to pick it up.
So now 4th down and 2. And they're back over the ball. Dubar remains the back. Play clock was low, and Boise State maybe just trying to get a jump, get a penalty, and they'll take their first timeout.
You know, talking about this program, Dan Hawkins, who I got to work with a lot in the past, you know, I was just asking him about Andy Avalos. He said, smart, tough leader. Figured he'd be a head coach. Very savvy. And I think that describes it.
Well, he's had to manage so much this week, this season, and now in this game. We show you the Maddox-Madsen injury at the end of the first half. His right leg here, you can see, which we now see in a brace. It's so painful for him. On this night where the offense is essentially handed to him. Like, it's your team now. And suddenly it's Taylon Green's team again. And look, you know, to your point on Dan Hawkins, to take a big picture, this program has had 25 straight winning seasons. Jonah Dalmas comes on for the field goal, 44 yards. Right through. So the Broncos haven't had the season they wanted so far, but maybe they're back on track for a strong finish. There's Andy Avalos, a place where he played and a place where Boise State has been so dominant, looking to improve to 12-6 under him, but it maybe has not quite been the intimidating home field. And of course they're trying to get back to that, and they feel like they've got a team that maybe can become that again. So much youth in this group, and we're seeing some of it tonight. Nick Trujillo back deep to receive the kick from James Ferguson Reynolds. He'll fair catch it. And it's just so much dominance historically for this program, and they're just such in the regular lexicon of the college football fan. The active record, 25 consecutive winning seasons. That's what's on the line right now. The 6th highest all-time FBS winning percentage. They've been to half of the conference championships since they've been in the league.
That blew me away. 92-18 for the conference. That's incredible.
And I just love the conversation we had with Andy Avalos yesterday. We asked him, you know, you're 4-5, your best receiver, Eric McAllister, goes into the portal. You know, what was this week like, and what is the message to the team? Here's Dampier to throw on first down, or at least to try to, but he gets sacked coming back to make the play. Ahmed Hassanin, his 2nd sack of the night. And he said, well, the #1 thing was we have to fight for who we are, first and foremost. And who they are was just on that graphic. Who they are is a special program.
And that's one of the things. But in this day and age, with NIL and transfer portal capability, you also need your folks to galvanize itself. You're not a Power 5, but you have been able to beat the big boys. You've been able to consistently play well. But you have to have your folks gather around that as well, so you can keep guys like McAllister and not let them leave your program.
Backwards goes that run. Sheldon Newton there for the stop. And Andy Avalos told us that happened this week too. That it was a moment when you see one of your best players leave, where you start getting calls from boosters going, what do we need to do?
And I think this is one of those great development programs, but it's not one where guys aren't capable of playing. It's something about the DNA if you come here to Boise State. If you're going to come here, you're going to be a player that's going to play hard and fight every single down. They haven't had success this season, but I think you can see some of the remnants of what that looks like and what Andy Avalos wants to have and have back in this program.
On 3rd down and long, it's broken up by Jalen Clark. He was smelling a pick 6 on one end and frustration on the other for Brian Vincent.
Well, Jalen Clark, instead of tipping the ball, if he catches it, there's no one in front of him. That's a touchdown. And that's why he's upset. Ball comes out, and you know he has to throw. He misses that clean opportunity, Jalen Clark, to just catch it and run back to the house.
So Aaron Rodriguez will punt to full right. That's a good hang to it, and Wright goes back to fair catch it at the 35. Looking like the Broncos of old tonight. Boise State's offense trying to put up a basketball number on the scoreboard. tonight. And before this first play of the possession gets off, flags everywhere.
False start, 66 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
42 points for this offense, ties a season high what they did back against North Dakota at the beginning of the year.
31.
Dubar. And he gets back the penalty yardage and a couple more. So you lose Ginty, so you go to a guy who's run for 1,000 yards twice in Helani, and then you got Dubar who's running pretty hard.
They've never had a lack of running game here.
No, they have not.
Dubar at 6'1", about 211 as a freshman. Breezy is anything but breezy when you got to take him down.
Helani was out for a month, and the coaches told us he was not playing video games when he was out. He was in the running back's room coaching this young running back group behind him. Dubar again. This time he gets met in the hole after a short gain, and it's third down.
5-yard gain for Dubar.
Ginty out, Stephon Cobb's out, Chase Penry out, Riley Smith out, Maddox Madsen starts the game, gets hurt, and you look up, and this young group has put up 42 points, and of course, not just losing the production of McAllister, but just dealing with the week, what happens after he leaves.
You always need to have guys that are ready to step up and make plays when their time is called.
Dubar gets tripped up, and he goes down. Jamarius Lewis. Well, you know, if how you respond to adversity is a test, and we know from football coaches that's definitely a test. This has been a very strong response by Boise State tonight.
It really has. I mean, their backs are against the wall. They don't want to be in a position where they don't have another winning season. It's been talked about. But I also think, too, whoever's going to be ready to play, it seems like they say we will have those guys ready to play, and let's see if they can make those plays when the time is called.
Jeremiah Hickson back deep. Ray Guy semifinalist Ferguson Reynolds, and that's part of why. Look at that. Yeah, that's a flex.
From the land down under.
With the Kentucky waterfall falling out of the bag. Take a look at our game summary. A good start today for the quarterback Devin Dampier, the true freshman. 15 of 24 for 200, tapered off a bit. And Maddox Madsen, you see the numbers there. All in the first half. He got injured. Taylor Green has taken over and played well. Corey Crosby Merritt, with both of his immediate backup running backs out injured today, getting a lot of the load. His 14th carry there, a pickup of 3 yards. Ahmed Hassani picked up a sack on the last series, has 2 in this game now, and he now has 9 for the season, which has him 1.5 back of the Mountain West lead. And he has just been a monster. We mentioned earlier the first Division I football player, FBS football player from Egypt. So you wonder, how does a guy from Egypt who didn't speak English until 5 years ago end up playing college football in Boise? Here's Dampier with a big run, and he gets pushed out. And we were talking to Spencer Danielson, the offensive coordinator. We asked him that question. He said, well, I played college football with his older brother. And one day his brother called me and said, hey, you need to look, you got to look at Ahmed. And Spencer said, well, I told him, you're 5'8". I'm not interested in your younger brother. And he said, no, my younger brother's big. And he's 6'3", 270. And it was a great decision and a great tip.
It really was. I mean, that's kind of how these recruiting stories are always funny, because sometimes you'll look at the sibling and say, nah, and then you see the other one, you're like, oh, yeah, I can see that.
Little quick push pass to Caden Pope. That's going backwards. Shea Oladipo.
Oladipo was on the spot. Great play by him of fighting off the tackle, fighting off the block, and just getting through there and making a play. Wow. Andrew Erickson with not much of a block, and he just goes and destroys that play.
16.
He's not been afraid to put his nose in tonight. Oladipo forced the fumble right around this spot on the field at the end of the first half. It really changed the game.
Very physical and with a lot of speed, flies off the edge. Saw it right there.
Play clock at 1, at 0.
Delay a game, 13 offense. That could only be enforced half the distance to the goal. Remain second down.
And when you get behind, it's just been a common theme. Bryant Vincent can't be happy with some of the things that have happened. The false starts. 5, or actually it was a 6 today for this team. Those yards, you just don't get those back.
You just got to look up at section 120. It'll tell you exactly how many false starts there are. Again, the starting quarterback, Dylan Hopkins, did not make the trip. Didn't practice all week. He was sick. So the true freshman, Devin Dampier, making his first career start. Krosky Merritt almost gets all the penalty yards back. The penalty plus the first negative play almost gets that back too. And it's now third down and 11 yards.
Guy, we saw this New Mexico team a few years ago. And this is a different ball club. The offensive line is better. They've got some receivers that can make plays. Krosky Merritt, as they call him, Bill, is a kid that can make plays. There's just some things they have to improve upon and find ways to stay in ball games like this and don't let it get out of hand.
This offense really has taken a big jump this year, and Dampier himself showing some promise. That is going to be 5 yards shy of the sticks. Rodney Robinson brought Ryan Davis down at the 20. It's 4th down and 5, and here comes the punt team.
Special teams has not been good up until tonight, especially punt team. They've improved that area by dispersing it through the coaching staff. But the other thing is their defense, known for blitzing and pressure, no turnovers and not much pressure. And when you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, that makes it tough.
It's really been a flip of kind of what their DNA has been this year. Cole Wright will fair catch this for Boise State back at the 40.
Well, part of that is Tavian Combs, who's a young guy that's now starting to age, and he's been able to help Derek Moore. They need more of that than they had tonight.
Well, Boise State, a week of adversity, but you wouldn't know it. They pulled out the sweet black uniforms, and then they just started flipping the lights on and off. 45 degrees, the Broncos feeling good, a crisp night, and it really feels like they've gotten so many things right tonight. And with the way things are playing out right now in the Mountain West, don't count them out just yet. In the conference title race, Dubar with a big run out into New Mexico territory.
Yeah, they're still in the mix.
I mean, things are happening. Air Force trailing Hawaii right now in the second half. Fresno State trailing San Jose State in the second half of that game. UNLV won last night. And Air Force still controls its own destiny with a couple of wins, but those teams lose. If Vegas beats Air Force, then Vegas, UNLV, which lost to Fresno State a couple weeks ago, they control their destiny. And if those scores hold, then Boise State's in play to play in the conference title game. And you'd look up and go, wait a second, the team that was picked to win the league, same old Boise State, they got that big game. All of a sudden, you're really happy to have Air Force coming up at the end of the year. Right?
Yeah, everything could play into their hands the way they wanted to, and I think that's all you can ask for. Well, the other thing is the health of guys that are missing tonight that can come back. What does that look like? That plays a big role.
Yeah, do you get Ginty back?
Yeah.
A couple of big runs from Dubar. And he'll get it again. And he'll burst through the middle. My turn.
I mean, when you're sitting back and you're learning and you're trying to get on the field, when that chance, that time comes, you got to seize it. Dubar is doing a nice job of that.
Dubar catching his breath after 3 straight 10-plus yard carries. Give him another. Well, the DNA, if you're just watching tonight, that's in this program is still very much in this program.
Yeah, it's about physicality and about finishing and about playing hard. And that's why they've won 25 consecutive seasons, or had winning seasons for 25 consecutive years. It's kind of one of those things. That's what we do.
Career high night for Dubar, 91 carries. They're going to give him 5 in a row?
I would say yes.
All right, here we go. 5 in a row.
I think that time there were a few more Lobo defenders there.
Well, I go back to what Andy Avalos told us. Like, we got a lot to play for, guys. The first thing we got to play for is who we are. But all of a sudden, they're playing for who they are. They're going to win a game in which you're going to get to the locker room, check some scores, and go, wait a second.
Yeah.
This season's not done yet.
The thing I do like, though, is the leadership. You know, once McAllister said he was gone, letting the leaders of the team address that. Yeah, I think that's really critical.
So the leadership council spoke first in the meeting with the coaches and said, we've talked. We're ready to roll with the guys that are in this locker room. Another carry for Dubar, and stopped up again under a minute remaining. You saw the schedule there. Utah State and Air Force still to come. And a weight off the shoulders maybe of this program tonight.
Well, it has to. It's a temporary thing. You celebrate it for 24 hours, but then you got to get back to it, right? 5-5 after tonight's game. That puts you in a better position. You feel better. Whenever you win, you can sleep a little bit better. The food tastes better. You know, the bed feels better. But it's only for a temporary thing. You got to go to the next one.
Taylor Green's going to kneel it out and end this game. And Boise State faced a New Mexico team early that came ready to play. Took a couple punches, and boy, did they respond.
It was good to come and watch them and see them play. New Mexico had some opportunities, but as a team that has to learn how to win this way, Boise showed them this is how you finish. And I think New Mexico can use that because they have a young team as well, and we saw their quarterback, who I was very impressed with.
Boise State came in hurt. They got a little more hurt in one way, but in others they come out feeling pretty good when it's all said and done. A 42-14 win. A reminder, tomorrow it's a special 2-hour Veterans Day pregame show live from the Air Force Academy. Then it's a doubleheader starting with 49ers Jags, followed by the Giants and Cowboys in America's Game of the Week. Check for the games in your area, all on Fox. So Boise State gets back to 500, and there's still a glimmer of hope in the Mountain West race. The Broncos looking like the Broncos you're used to tonight in a 42-14 domination for our entire crew. My broadcast partner, Charles Arbuckle. This is Guy Haberman saying, thanks for watching. You've been watching College Football After Dark on FS1.